Hey folks, it's Rob Flux here from Property Developer Network with another Sunday session. And today we're going to be talking to you all about project builders versus custom builders, the differences between them, when you want to use them, how to get different cost efficiencies and effectiveness out of the different kind of products that you're doing. And in order to do that, we've got a very special guest today. We've got Poppy Siachos from Metricon Homes, a volume builder or project builder, as we might refer them in other senses. Who's going to be talking all about the differences between them. So Poppy, firstly, welcome aboard.
Hi Rob, how are you? Thanks for having me.
That's okay, welcome. So firstly, Metricon Homes, a lot of people have heard about yourselves, but may not necessarily know how, I guess, big and wide you guys are. So give us some insights into Metricon, and then who is Poppy?
Yeah, look, Metricon have been around for just going on to 50 years actually next year. We're celebrating our 50th year in business, which is pretty astounding. So look, Metricon look after a whole range of different areas of builds. So, we cater pretty much for all markets, including your first home buyer, investor, and second, third, fourth home owner. I'm based in our Victorian office, and I look after our knockdown rebuilds for single dwellings. And but like I said, we've got a whole range of different services available for our clients.
So some of those services, in case people aren't aware, obviously knockdown rebuild, like you said, you've got budget homes, you've got mid-tier homes, you've got luxury homes, you've got duplexes, and all the way through to, I guess, full townhouse suites and home and land packages. So you've got a huge range, but most people would probably know you more as, I guess, the knockdown rebuild type approach. Give us some insights into, I guess, the different divisions that you've got.
Yeah, look, so as you mentioned, I look after our knockdown rebuilds. So we do get a lot of clients who are wanting to buy a site and build and then flip. So we do have a lot of investors that actually do that full time. We do have our home solution by Metricon, which is our first home buyer and investor market. So that's more into our greenfield space, which is our outer suburb developments areas. And then we have our freedom homes, designer homes, and signature homes. So they all have different price points attached to them and different sizing available within those ranges. And then we also have our dual occupancies, where you're building two homes or more. So you may be looking at 3 or 4 homes on a site. And then we have our Met Invest, which is our Metricon investment arm of our business, which is where you're building multiple townhomes or townhouses in a development site. So from 20 or 30 homes on a site. So again, it's like a very, very wide range of different products that we have on offer for a different range of buyers.
And when most people are coming, because you've got so many divisions, when most people are coming to the front door or going to a display village, they're largely going to see, I guess, the knockdown rebuild, version of the business. But good to know that there is, the capacity to go bigger. But in order to do that, it's probably not going to be something that people engage in at the display village. But how do they actually engage when they're wanting to do duplexes, townhouses, larger house and land type projects?
Yeah, look, our display homes are there to showcase, the home designs that we have available. Now, a lot of those home designs will be available as a house and land package, or if you've got your own land and you're wanting to build a home. So, we can showcase the different floor plan designs and obviously the quality and the workmanship that we have. And that translates across all of our brands, including our dual occupancy and Met Invest. So it's a good opportunity if you want to go out to the display homes to see the quality. If you are looking to engage in a dual occupancy project or multiple dwelling site, that is more of a niche market for us. So we do have an online contact us page where you can actually leave your details, where a development specialist will be in touch with you to go through that process with you.
And for the majority of our audience, folks, that is probably going to be the best way to engage. Certainly go out to the display villages and actually have a look and see the build quality and the build range and that sort of thing. But I guess if you're doing more than one, then put your contact details in the website, and a product specialist will talk to you. Now, that said, we're here today to talk about, the differences between a project builder and a custom builder. So we might, do a little bit definitions. So what exactly is a project builder, or I guess volume builder, as you like to refer to yourselves?
Yeah, sure. Look, obviously volume being the main sort of word there, is that we do build a lot more homes than a custom builder. We build up to 6,000 homes nationally. So we're building along the southeastern seaboard, and, Metricon are Australia's biggest builder. So that's where really the volume does come into play. Our site managers have multiple sites going on at any given time. So they may be running, 15 jobs at a time in a particular area. And being that volume build space allows us to get better pricing, quicker build times for our buyers.
Very good. I've just noticed an alert that's gone off that I'll need to let my team know about, but I'm sure I can work that out in the background. So you mentioned Eastern Seaboard, so Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, and South Australia predominantly is where you guys build. So so display villages in all of those areas. Now, from a volume build perspective, I guess if we talk about a custom builder, you touched on this before, they're building a lot fewer, projects, and more specifically, very, very, very custom designs. But as a volume builder, you've got standard designs that you typically work with, which allows for a lot of efficiencies and effectiveness of what you're actually trying to do. So we're going to kind of touch on some of the differences there. But some of those standard designs, obviously, they're not going to work for everybody, but in a lot of instances, they will. So what are some of the things that we need to consider with regards to things where a standard design may or may not work?
Yeah, look, obviously, one of the things that we do offer is a site feasibility as well. So, if you've got a site that you're looking to build on, we can offer a no obligation free assessment of your land as well. Things like the orientation of the site, making sure that, the design is going to suit the council or the municipality that you're building in, and, making sure that, the house is going to work on the site. So the good thing about Metricon and going through the volume builder is that we'll have everything advertised to suit that particular lot size. So whether it's a 10.5, 12 metre, 14 metre wide block, or even 15 plus metre wide block. So all of our home designs are designed to suit a particular block size. So it just makes it a lot easier for you to actually filter on our website, what your land size is, and then actually allows you to have a bit of a filter with how many bedrooms, and then it'll pretty much just funnel what designs will actually work on your site. So it's just a much smoother, easier process.
And what are some of the things to consider with regards to where a standard design might or might not work? What are the constraints that might fit there?
Yeah, look, we've got a build policy. So, for Metricon as a volume builder, to make sure that, our process is nice and streamlined, we want to make sure that we're building on sites that don't have 3 meters of slope on them. We don't build on stumps or footings, so all of our homes are built on slab. So, if you are looking at a very, very slopey site exceeding 3 meters, then that's probably going to be a custom build option for you. But anything under 3 meters is definitely something that Metricon can build for you. And anything with a basement outcome is not something that Metricon can build either. But yeah. Yeah,
so and if anyone is needing either of those two solutions, then that's kind of where the custom builder starts to come in. Now, custom builder can, as the name implies, they can customize pretty much everything as you go. But because it's a one-off design, then they're basically coming in with a hammer and some timber and some nails, and they're building it specifically for you. Whereas as a volume builder, there's a lot of efficiencies in what you're doing because you're doing very, very similar designs over. Now, that said, they don't all look the same. So, because there's a lot of customization that can actually go into that. Give us some insights. How many standard designs do you actually have as part of your baseline offering?
Yeah, look, we've got over 100 floor plan options or designs, I should say, available for our clients. Now, within those floor plans, we have design options that are available. So, for example, if you're looking at one of our designs, 300 square meter floor plan, then we may have 6 to 8 different design options within that floor plan. So things like, a guest bedroom option, a prayer room option, shower to the powder room option, and they're all pre-populated. So it just takes the guessing out of having to actually get a draftee or architect to actually get those options designed. So they're all pre-populated. Now, if there is something that a client wants to adjust or modify, we are open to that. And we do have some flexibilities around modifying our floor plans as well.
So if somebody wanted to see or have a look at these standard designs, what's the best way they actually do that? Do they go to your website and have a look? Do they have a look at the catalogue? What's the options for them to see what is available?
Yeah, look, I think, nowadays everything is advertised digitally. So our website is going to be the best first point of contact for you to be able to view all of our designs and floor plans available. And then you'll be able to select a checkbox in those floor plans as to what those design options are. So everything is in our website. If you do go out to a display village as well, we do have some booklets available. But because we do have designs that are, always changing, we're always adding new options. The best way to keep up to date is actually online.
Okay. And then once they've narrowed that down, so what are some of the parameters that they might want to start to think about? I guess width of block, that sort of thing. How do they start to think about it?
Yeah, so looking at the width of the block, if you haven't purchased your land yet, then we can certainly give you a bit of guidance in terms of what homes will fit on what site, whether it's 2 homes or 3 homes, whether it's one knockdown rebuild, whether it's a house and land package. So we do liaise with developers as well. If that's something that your buyers are looking at as a house and land solution, where it's a fixed price for a house and land package as well. So we do have different relationships with different developers. So we've got access to the lots and the sizes, so we know what homes will suit what lot sizes as well. So there's a whole range of things that we need to consider when we're proposing floor plans for the land. So a lot of our designs are tailored for pretty common size lot sizes in the developments.
Yeah, so I guess another consideration for someone is, have you got a regular size or shaped block? And that doesn't preclude, I guess, the designs from actually going on. It just means that where they're located on the block might be slightly different.
Yeah.
When you're in a cul-de-sac, for example, you might have a very small frontage, but if you go a little bit further back onto the block, then your site widens out a little bit. So understanding the width at the build line is the most important part of that equation.
Absolutely. And look, this is where we do offer a free site assessment or feasibility, so that we can actually ascertain whether it's going to be feasible and comply with the local council. So we do offer that as a service, as a part of going through that process, whether it's, like I said, multiple homes on a site or the one single dwelling. So we can give you that feedback, because we do have the knowledge in regards to council requirements and that kind of thing. So we can guide you through that process.
So what is the process to engage in that in order, because when we're looking at a site, we need to act quick, right?
Yep.
So we think we identify an opportunity, we've got an order of magnitude. Hey, I think we're profitable, not really sure. And we want to get that first level price point before we've locked it down to the dollar. What is the timeline to turn around, I guess, a rough estimate on something like that?
Yeah, so we've got our 1300 Metricon call center or phone number that you can call through, and you can get live transferred through to a consultant. And then once you're in touch with the right consultant, whether it's our development specialist or myself being a knockdown rebuild specialist, then you'll be able to have the opportunity to have that discussion. Now, we'll be able to give you some, high level numbers in terms of price point and what the project will cost you based on the land that you have. Typically, it's a 24-hour turnaround. If you go online, we do have another avenue where you can leave your details on our website, and we'll basically get the right department to get in contact with you, and that's within a 24-hour period. So we're pretty quick to come back to you. I understand that sometimes it's just in the heat of the moment, you want to put in that offer. So we'll be able to support you through that process as well.
Very good. Okay, so now we've touched on, I guess the fact that there's particular designs that you guys go with. Now that's going to create some efficiencies in the manufacturing process, in the build process, in your processes and procedures and things like that. Give us some insights into how having those standard designs, how does that flow through to, I guess, the efficiency of the build process?
Yeah, look, all of our homes are pre-priced. So, we have already a concept and an idea of what the home is going to cost us or cost you from the onset. So, if you pick a floor plan online and you call through, we can pretty much give you a price, in that moment of what it's going to cost, whether it's per square or per square meter. All of our homes are priced accordingly from our website. So if you come through to us, we'll be able to give you a price. Now, going through the efficiencies, all of our homes are prefabricated in terms of the design. A lot of our kitchen concept plans are fairly similar. We use the same suppliers, so we'll be able to get the same, better pricing. So from a bulk costing perspective, we're able to get, the sharpest price available, as a bulk consumer. So, being able to build multiple homes allows us to give you the best price. Also in the back end, from an operations perspective, our processes mean that, things will be streamlined and we'll basically have a quicker build time for you as well. So there's a lot of transparency with the volume builder or with Metricon, knowing what your costs are going to be upfront before you go down that build process.
Yeah, if you compare that to a custom builder, because the home is custom by design, then they have to, I guess, put a whole bunch of effort into the estimation side of things, and they actually have to measure how much timber, how much concrete, how many nails, all those sorts of things. That in itself takes a whole bunch of time to then do that. Then customization of materials, so the suppliers might be different for every single build because it is by design custom every single time. So the process just to get through to a quote can take a lot longer.
That's right.
I've seen, I guess, the estimations and the quotes take weeks to come back sometimes, but they are very, very bespoke. And so I guess you're looking at a very unique design in that particular instance. From your process, you can still make them look unique, I guess, by doing all sorts of other customizations, but there is a foundational layer which is consistent.
Yeah, that's right. So we've got our set of master drawings, which is our baseline, and everything's priced according to that baseline floor plan. And then, depending on which part of our business you're looking to build in, like I said before, we've got homes that range from, our first home buyer to our second, third, fourth home buyer, or even, investors that just want to flip homes. So, if they want to make some modifications, we do have a lot of pricing built into our quoting system. So we're able to give you a much better idea on, what it's going to cost you to make some changes, to add a cavity sliding door or to remove a wall. Everything's preset and predetermined, which just makes it a much easier process for us as well, making sure that we're providing that level of service to you. But I think transparency is fairly important, when building a home and knowing exactly what your costs are going to be.
Yeah, and where that starts to flow through, folks, is if you compare custom versus, I guess the volume build and a pre-design, things like the engineering level details. So how deep are the fixtures and footings and those sorts of things, how we're actually, the engineering level that needs to go in order to get it all the way through to a building approval. Depending upon your state, it's a building approval, a building permit, or a construction certificate. So just the process to get through to that, if you're using the same designs over and over and over, a lot of that engineering level detail is already pre-done. Okay. So,
and even the drawings the cost of, getting the drafting and the building permit, and that's all built into our base price. So you're not having to pay individual, draftees and, town planners and different parts of that process. So it really is that one-stop shop, being able to offer you, in that base price, you're getting everything included in that.
And obviously, you're based in Victoria, so we're going to talk about some timelines, and that's clearly going to be Victoria specifically. But I would anticipate they'd be similar-ish around the country, but obviously there's going to be some variations. Give us some insights into how does that help you how quickly can you actually get to site in order to start construct, for example?
Yeah, look, and it depends on the area that you're building in, and what division you're building in. But just to give you an example, in our greenfield space, so if you're doing a house and land package within our outer suburbs, we do have a fast track process, so where we can get to site within 12 weeks, which is pretty quick. And then construction on a single story home, you're looking at about 4.5 months. And about 7 months for a double story. If you're looking at doing a dual occupancy, where you may be building 2 or 3 homes, you're looking at about a 10 to 12 month build time.
Yeah, so very efficient and effective in order to do that. As you touched on, if it's a custom process, you may have to engage with, multiple different consultants in order to get that approval. So you may need both a building surveyor, or in some instances, it's called a building certifier. You may need to engage with the town planner and a couple of other people in order to get those approvals, just to get the construction certificate or the building permit in place. Then I guess the construction timeline starts from there. So a lot of efficiencies just in doing the same thing again and again and again. So we touched on, I guess, the variations from a floor plan. Give us some insights into, a lot of people don't want the exact same thing, right? They want to be able to feel that they've got some, the house here and the house next door is different. How much variation can you actually do to your custom floor plans? What is the range of things that you could actually consider?
Yeah, look, I think, as a volume builder, we do have our preset design options, as I mentioned before. And, if those design options aren't suited to the buyer, then we can go outside of those things. So, if you're wanting to increase the length of the home, if you're wanting to incorporate an ensuite to one of the bedrooms, or maybe make a bedroom larger, if you're wanting to add a shower to the powder room, there are a multitude of different options that we have that we can, step outside of our standard design options that are available online. Things that we, won't do is we won't redesign our Metricon home from scratch. We'll use our baseline floor plan. Typically, staircases will stay where they are. That's essentially, one of the central points in our design, and everything sort of gets designed around our staircase. So it's one of the things that we won't change is the location of the staircase and the location of the kitchen. Now, in saying that, we do have options where we can flip the rear of the home because the orientation may be better suited. So look, it can be a scenario where you just need to engage one of the consultants, and then we'll be able to go through your options or what your requirements are, and we can sit and actually draft something up for you. But again, starting from our base floor plan and then making some tweaks and modifications. So moving internal walls is a fairly common request. If you're wanting to enlarge rooms or even make rooms smaller, we can do that.
Yeah, so I would anticipate you could also mirror the front of the house, or even mirror the entire house. You can change things like your facades so that it actually physically looks different, even if it was an identical floor plan. It'd actually look like a different house from the outside.
Yeah, there's typically about 18 floor facade options available for one design. So, especially in the new estates, you can't have the same facade within 6 houses of each other. And that's one of the guidelines that we have here in Victoria anyway. So, we're fully equipped to be able to cater for, having some differences with our homes, not making them look all the same.
Yeah, so it's amazing how dissimilar something that is based on the same footprint can actually look. By the time you change a facade, you flip the frontage, you extend a wall here and there, you change, the tiles and the color selection and that sort of thing. It looks like a completely different home, folks.
It does. It does. And our interior designers are really great in assisting our clients as well. So, for investors, we've got some standard color palettes that you can select from as well. So it just takes out that whole process for our investors, so that it really want to have to get into, the whole nitty gritty of the brick color. And, that's all pre-done for you. So we've got the roof tiles, the colors, the color bond roof, the render color, internals. We've got some pre-populated concept color schemes that we're able to actually go through with our clients as well.
You just touched on something that I didn't think of, and hope I'm not putting you on the spot here. You just touched on renders.
Yep.
A lot of our folks will be, be wanting to sell off the plan. Is it Metricon able to assist in that, where you've actually got some renders that are already pre-done that they might be able to leverage for their marketing purposes?
Not necessarily. Look, we've got concept plans that we can offer, but we don't sell off the plan. Well, you'd need to build the home in order to obviously sell it, but we can provide you with, some renders for the sale, but we'd need to actually build the home. So we don't.
No, it was more the renders side of things to go, hey, if somebody was trying to sell it whilst it's under construction. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we would provide, we do some 3D. We've got a software program that does it has a siting site plan for our homes, and we've got like a 3D element that we can provide our clients. That might be something that, where we give you a link, and then that link actually allows you to change the colors of the facade, the roof tiles, the render. But in terms of actual renders, we don't provide those.
I understand.
Yeah.
Now, I guess the base price that you have would have some standard inclusions. So yeah. I'm assuming that's an off-the-shelf type price point and super quick to actually come to.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the customization of the products and the customization of the price. What is the process and the timeline to actually go through that typically?
Yeah, look, when we're going through that initial quoting process, so prior to our clients even paying a deposit, we've got our estimating team and drafting team that we can sort of bounce back and forth with, and typically in a couple of days we'll have some firmer pricing on some of the changes. If it's a very, very lengthy customization of a larger home, then that we'd get the drawings submitted to our estimating team, and they'd be able to come up with some sort of pricing for you within that week. So it's a pretty quick turnaround time for us to give you some pricing.
Yeah. So for most of you out there, if you've got a purchase that's under some form of due diligence or something along those lines, your ability to turn that around relatively quickly and actually get some certainty on your numbers, is available for you. Now you touched on, some of the things that can easily be decided. You said don't change where the staircase is located, don't change where the kitchen is, but you can move internal walls, you can put in walk-in robes, additional bedrooms, make the size of the home a little bit bigger, those sorts of things. Is there anything other than the staircase and the kitchen that they can't do? Or
look, our build policy, it does go into a little bit more detail with the actual sites that we can and can't build on. So if you've got a no standing sign out the front of your property, it's not a site we can build on. So from a location perspective, we need to do a feasibility in terms of making sure there's no tram lines or anything that is going to cause delays, because Metricon, our goal is to make sure that we're building homes at a quicker rate. But in terms of the actual floor plan itself, we still want to maintain the integrity of our Metricon design. So, if it means that we're increasing a room size, but that room is staying there, then that will be fine. So look, we're open to having that discussion with people in terms of what they're wanting and making sure that we can, tailor it to suit.
Yeah, there's also going to be things like differences on each individual site. So things like soil classifications and
Absolutely.
Things like that.
Yep.
In order to firm up those price points, what's the timeline and process to, determine that?
Yeah, look, different for different areas of our business. So as I mentioned, we've got such a wide range of different departments, and the process can vary from department to department. But for our greenfields house and land scenario, a lot of the times we'll be able to offer a fixed price on site costs because we've already got the engineering. We already know what the soil classification is going to be in those areas, and we can offer an upfront fixed price package, which is really, really good. So if you're doing a knockdown rebuild, for example, we need to run a soil test and a survey to start the process. And within 12 weeks, you'll have an idea of what your costs are from a site cost perspective. So a little bit longer with the knockdown rebuild when you're doing soil testing there's an established home on there.
Yeah, most of our guys will be doing infill development in a city rather than, I guess, at the fringes per se. So whether it's a knockdown rebuild or whether it's, I guess, putting a dwelling at the back of an existing dwelling, I guess, are our more common scenarios. But I guess 12 weeks is really the timeline that we're talking to here, give or take. So soil test and surveys being, I guess, the key elements there.
Yeah, that's
now. Right. In order to get that high level estimate, other than physically calling you for every single site and that sort of thing, what can our guys do with regards to getting that wet finger estimate? Hey, I'm within an order of magnitude. Do you have price catalogs and things like that people can work with, or is everything bespoke from a pricing perspective?
Yeah, look, we do have price lists available. So again, depending on the department or the area, we can provide you with some base price lists, and then going into the deeper sort of detail, we do have catalogs for more going into the nitty gritty of taps and basins and bathtubs and whatnot. We do have a catalog available, but from a high level perspective, we do have price lists available where the consultant can actually provide you with that information. So that's not on our website, but depending on which part of our business you're looking to build in, whether it's a dual occupancy, we do have a dual occupancy price list, so we can share that information with you.
Yeah, so one of the most important things, folks, is start the relationship early, engage, talk to. If you're doing a knockdown rebuild, you're going to be, I guess, talking to a Poppy or someone in Poppy's team. If you're doing multiple, then you're going to be talking, I guess, to the dual occupancy team, or all the way. If you're doing 10 or 20 townhouses, then you've got another team that's dedicated for that. So engage with the right team, start that process early, get to know them, understand how they work, what their timelines are, etc. But predominantly, whichever division you're working in, you've all got the same philosophies in mind with regards to standardization of build process, standardization of customization, if that's a way of putting that.
Yeah, it's fairly common across our entire Metricon range, and like I said, being in Victoria, we do have different council requirements and different parameters than say New South Wales. So if you are looking to build in New South Wales, making sure that you're getting in contact with the right team, because some things may differ from state to state.
Well, I can exaggerate that a little bit. There's 537 councils, folks. There's 537 different ways of doing that exact same thing. So super important that you understand the idiosyncrasies of your individual council. But I guess the Metricon team can help you to navigate that in the appropriate geographies. Poppy, thank you very much. What are the next steps if somebody wanted to go down a pathway here? What would be the next steps?
Yes, so you can call the 1300 Metricon number and get a live transfer through to the right area, and make sure you're speaking to the right person, or you can jump on our website and actually complete an online contact form where a consultant from the necessary or from the relevant department will reach out to you to have that discussion. So that's probably first port of call in terms of making an inquiry. But of course, we've got display homes as well. If you wanted to visit one of our display homes just to get an idea of our display designs and obviously the quality of the build that we have.
Very good. Thank you very much. Now, So appreciate your time today, Poppy. Now, just giving people a heads up that I guess Sam and other gentlemen from your team, from I guess the multi-res department, I think what you call the dual occupancies team, is going to be coming and presenting at an upcoming meetup in Melbourne.
Yes.
So folks, we run these networking events all the way around the country. We run them in Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, and Adelaide. You can physically turn up, or you can also live stream no matter where you are in the country. So anyone wanting to do 2, 3, 4 or more, I'm going to highly encourage to actually engage in that particular one. I'm not sure the exact date off the top of my head, but I know that it's coming up in a month or two. But very, very great to have you here today, Poppy. Appreciate your time. And for anyone wanting very effective and very fast build times, project or volume building is the way for you, and Metricon clearly the leader in that industry.
Thank you so much, Rob. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Thank you, folks. I'm going to say until then, hope to see you at an upcoming meetup. Until then, bye for now. Bye.
See you.